Hello and welcome to my video, you guys. I am going to be doing a simply layered page, and I did something a little bit different this time. What I did is I just turned on the camera while I was creating the page, and then I'm doing this voiceover, and I thought it might be a little bit easier. A lot of times I make the whole page and I don't glue anything down, and then I take it all apart to film, and sometimes the original design gets lost because I can't remember exactly how things were. So I'm doing a simply layered page today. There is a printable tutorial over on my website. You can go there and print that out, or right below in the YouTube description box there is a link where you can just click on it and then print it out. So here I am just using the Twinkle Twinkle Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. I'm grabbing all of my pieces here. This paper is really amazing. I love it. I have taken some retired circle framelits and I've just cut some circles to be able to use here on the edges, and that is just designer paper as well. So the colors I'm using today are Gray Granite, Pool Party, and then Night of Navy. The Project Life card that you see that I'm working with right here, this was a product from Ali Edwards. I subscribe to her monthly story kit, and so oftentimes I have these Project Life cards that I like to use here on my layouts. So right now I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I want all of my photo mats to be. My photo mats this time are 4 by 5.5, so they're a little bit different than I usually do. I'll usually do a 4 by 6, but I thought this would be nice to do a little bit of a different size. So when you cut your photos to put them onto the page, you will need to cut a 1/4 inch off of them, and then they'll be able to fit on there. So usually I don't do photo mats where you have to cut your photos at all. Usually I make the photo mats larger than your normal photos, but that's just something a little bit different. I'm using my ATG gun just because it's a little bit easier to use my ATG gun when I'm doing these layers. And you can see here, I left this in so you could see. Sometimes I don't always get things lined up, and it did rip the paper, but I knew that I was putting that photo mat right back over that, so I wasn't too worried about it ripping. The ATG gun is a very aggressive adhesive. So when you're using it, oftentimes what I will say is put your adhesive down and then don't press everything down until you're sure everything is lined up. So here I'm just putting the circles on, and you can see I'm just lifting up and putting adhesive under here because I want those circles to remain the same. And they are hanging off the page a tiny bit. So I'll just flip that over and then I will go ahead and trim that. I got a little bit of adhesive on that, so I just used a sand eraser to kind of pull that off there. And then you can see I'm just adding a tiny bit of adhesive so it doesn't pull up from the edge, and then I just snipped that off and you can see those. So I used all designer paper for the main layers. So the piece that I started with was the Night of Navy stars, and then the circles here are from another piece, and they're just a pool party, but they have the stars, kind of the same design as the stamp set that you'll see. And I lost a stamp in the middle of doing this layout, and I still have not found it. It's the little tiny stars. I wonder if it got pushed off into the trash or something. So I'm just adding a little bit of foam tape so that I can pop those up. That's another one of those Project Life cards from Ali Edwards. This will be perfect to do some journaling. So then you're going to see I'm going to get the stamp set out, and this tiny little star stamp set is the one I lost. It's actually not all that tiny, but I have no idea where it went. So I'm using some silver ink here, and I'm just adding it to the card. I should have done it before I had before I glued everything together, but it was kind of a last minute thought. And then I'm adding some extra silver stars to the designer paper. Now the designer paper already had those types of stars on them, but you can see they're kind of more muted. So that silver ink pad is just going to give it a little bit of a pop. And then that silver ink does take a little bit of time to dry. You need a little bit of time for it to dry or it will smear really bad, and that's happened to me where I've smeared it. So I do have the layout here for what my photos are going to be, and so you're going to see I'm just going to start to attach all of this, and that will be simple to do. And then I will add some of those stars here on this side as well. This is another layout that I don't have photos ready for the layout right away, like once I get it done, but I do have photos in mind. I recently printed over 150 photos from the last like 3 months, and I do have photos in mind for what I will be using on this layout. But what's nice about these simply layered pages is you can put these pages together and not have to have photos right away and then add your photos later. And that is something that I really like. Sometimes I'm in the mood to create, but maybe I don't have exact photos for the exact layouts, and so it makes it nice. I am a little bit picky here about how I like my photo mats to line up. These, all of these would probably be photo mats. One of them could be journaling, but I think also it would look nice to do the journaling in the circles, or there's that space, the navy blue right there. By those photos that I'm stamping on right now, you could add a little tag or something for the journaling for there as well. So most of these photos, most of the mats on this will be for photos. So the very last thing that I did here is I took some silver glimmer paper and I took the punch. This is the punch. It has a moon and then it has some stars. And probably in the future, what I would do is cut off strips of the glimmer paper and then punch. You can see that it's a little bit hard to get those stars if you're not wanting to get the moon. One of my all-time favorite products that I still have that is retired is the star border punch, and I use that a ton for creating stars like this to put onto things. The thing I like about this punch is the stars are a little bit bigger, and if I probably would have thought about it at the time, I would have got my larger star punch out and added a couple larger ones. But you can see here, I'm just using glue dots and I'm taking all those tiny little stars that I just punched out and I am adding them to the layout. I like to put these in clusters of 3 or, 3 or 5. And so you'll see that I just start kind of sprinkling them all over the layout, and I really love the way that this layout came out. The silver stars looked really good on this, and I think it's really going to be a really pretty layout. I think what would be nice is to add black and white photos to this layout. That's something else that I like to do from time to time. Is just print some photos in black and white and put them onto a layout or in a Project Life spread, and I think that can be really fun just for something different. So there is a lot of glitter laying around that I had to get off the layout, but this is how it came out. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this layout. You can see photos on my website along with the supply list, and again, I have a printable tutorial over on my website for you to print out. Much for hanging out with me today and watching my videos. Here are 2 other of my most recent videos. I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will catch you in my next video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.